I didn't have time to watch the final episode for season 2 of Demon Slayer yesterday because I was busy doing stuff, and so I got around to watching it this morning on Monday, and you're gonna see the video when it comes out later today, obviously. And I knew what to expect in terms of the length of the episode. It was gonna be like 40 minutes, but because of where I'm watching it, which is on streaming services, it's like cut down to like 30 minutes, which is pretty typical. Anyways, I didn't know what to expect, right? I just was wondering what the hell was even going to happen in the first place. And the beginning of the episode starts off where we left off in last episode, where Gyutaro's body shoots off all these like blood scythe things into the sky, but it shows that Nezuko actually used her blood demon art with the whole like fire shit to stop it, and we start off after that with Nezuko like taking care of Tanjiro, and that's because she used her blood demon art to stop the poison, and I guess also kind of sort of stop the bleeding as well, because like we saw Tanjiro was about to pass out from the bleeding and the poison that was injected into his body, and so Nezuko used her blood demon art to stop the poison, which helped Tanjiro, and then it helped out Inosuke because he was about to die from the poison as well. And then later Uzui. So Uzui is alive. Uzui does not die. They have a little funny moment with his wives where it's like one of them is like crying and freaking out because they're afraid that they're about to die. And then Makio, she's all mad because like Uzui's trying to say his last words because they think he's about to die. And he can't get a word out because they keep screaming at each other and keep like hysterically crying and all that. Nezuko comes in, stops the poison, but all they see is Uzui engulfed in fire, so they start freaking out. It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. The animators drew one of the girls, I forget what her name is, I apologize for not knowing her specifically, but they have her with this like really, they drew her with this really funny looking face that was just hilarious. It caught me completely off guard, and I wasn't expecting that. But the rest of the episode is basically just Tanjiro giving a farewell to Daki and Gyutaro, right? And it's where we learn the history between these two characters and what happened to them, and like what happened to them, and why they are the way that they are. We also learned that Daki isn't Daki's real name. It's actually Ume. And that's because we learned the backstory, and basically Gyutaro was in the lower class of the entertainment district. And he was ugly, he smelled all the time, he couldn't take care of himself, and he was always skinny because he couldn't really eat anything. And his only toy was a literal scythe, so that shows and explains why his main weapon of use is like twin scythes, which makes sense. And then his sister was born, and the sister was beautiful even for her young age, and stuff happened in between that time. She sliced off a samurai's eye, and then she was burnt alive, which is fucked up. And then Gyutaro obviously freaks out about that, and then he almost dies from the samurai who Daki sliced the eye out of. And then Gyutaro kills the samurai, and then they try to look for help, and no one wants to help them. And then they meet one of the upper-ranking demons from the 12 Kizuki, and injects them with the blood, and they turn into demons. And the whole time Gyutaro is just explaining how he doesn't really have any regrets of what happened and what he did and what he had to do. But the thing that he regrets the most is his sister, and the fact that she could have been different. She could have lived a normal life as a normal girl, doing the normal things that people typically do. They get into a family. She could have been one of the most respected oirons, in the entertainment district because she was so beautiful and all this stuff. And then they have the scene where he and her are in purgatory, and Gyutaro is trying to completely like push away his little sister because he regrets everything that he did, when basically she was the way that she was because he taught her to be that way, and he regrets doing that, and he regrets being a part of her life because if he wasn't there with her, then she could have lived a better life. And it was at this point of the episode that I started to get pretty emotional, and I actually teared up a little bit because it was kind of reflecting on like my own personal life with my own siblings. Because, and like the reason why it really started to happen was because Yutaro's trying to push away his little sister to the best of his ability, because he just wants her to be reborn and not go down to the depths of hell where he's going, so that way she can have the life that he felt like that she deserved, right? And that she would be forgiven for her sins. But the whole time she's trying to, apologize, and she feels bad for the things that she said, and she didn't mean it, and she only said it because she was mad and she was bitter and all this stuff. And like I was saying, it kind of reflected a lot of my own personal life with my siblings. I was the same way. I did the same thing a lot of the time with my older brother, and I was pushing him away, and I would say a lot of things that I didn't really mean because I was angry with him. And it wasn't until last year, after my mom died, that I had to come to terms with what was going on between he and I, and what I said and what I felt about him as I was growing up as a kid into my adult years. And it wasn't until after she died that I went and tried to forgive him, and I did. And it was really emotional because trying to forgive the sins of the past and trying to forget about what happened before when we were younger just was really hard for me. And I had to do it on the spot because I wasn't really mentally prepared for it. And I did, and it kind of felt like that Daki was trying to do the same thing with her brother. And they forgave each other for what they did and for what they said to each other. And they go to hell together. They don't get reborn. They go to the pits of hell where they deserve, because they're terrible people. We're not shown all this to feel forgiveness for these characters. What they did was truly awful. They did terrible things when they were human, and even more terrible things when they were demons. We're not shown this to forgive them. We're shown this to understand them better and see what happened and why it happened, and feel some modicum of sympathy for them. Because imagine yourself being in this position in this fucking universe, right? Imagine yourself in this situation in the universe of Demon Slayer, of Kimetsu no Yaiba. You're gonna turn into a horrible fucking mantis monster as well. Like, come on. Like, it's really fucked up. And I feel some modicum of sympathy, like I said, but I don't obviously forgive these characters for what they did, because they did truly terrible things. But I understood what happened and why they were the way that they were. It's because they were just doing what they were doing in order to survive. It's perfectly understandable, but that doesn't mean I have to, forgive them for being terrible people, because they were terrible people. And pretty much after that, Uzui patches himself up with some bandages because now he's lost an eye and a hand. One of the other Hashira shows up. He's given the information of what happened. And then pretty much everyone after that from who's a part of the Demon Slayer Corps learns that, hey, we took down one of the 12 Kizuki. We took down one of the upper six. One of the upper six of the strongest demons. It might have been like the lowest of the upper six, but hell, it's still one of them, and that completely changes the tide of the demons versus the Demon Slayer Corps. And the leader of the Demon Slayer Corps even acknowledges that as well, that the tides of fate are finally changing, and that things are finally going to go their way as long as they keep striving. And it's there that Uzui says he's going to retire, and that there's an open slot already because of fucking Rengoku dying, and now there's going to be two of them because Uzui's going to retire from being a Demon Slayer. And that's when he points out that, hey, Tanjiro's about to reach his full potential, and that he's potentially going to become an Hashira pretty soon. I don't know. I feel like Tanjiro still has plenty of room to improve, but I guess him being a Hashira just means that he has more avenues to go do what he needs to do, even if he's not the strongest that he can be yet. Anyways, that's besides the point. This episode, at a certain point, was really emotional, but this is like truly the finale of the Entertainment District arc, and it was pretty spectacular, right? With last week's episode being a marvel to look at, even like previous episodes before last week's. The Entertainment District arc was truly entertaining to the 10th degree, and it was incredible, and it was really fun, and I had a lot of enjoyment watching this. And it's gonna suck not having Demon Slayer on a week-to-week basis to watch, but at least we already have the next arc already announced. We don't have a date, but we have the next arc announced, and we're gonna be seeing 2 Hashira members. The chick with the whip sword, I forgot what her name is, and then some other guy, I don't know what his name is. To be honest, I don't know what his name is. Some of them I don't really know what their names are. I just know like Shinobu and Gyu, and Uzui, and then Rengoku, and that's it. So, anyways, if you like the video, be sure to leave a like. If you want to see more, be sure to subscribe. I mentioned in yesterday's video for the Boruto review that I might have another video idea in mind that I might do for the Boruto series, just because it's been on my mind for a little bit. But regardless, like I said, if you liked the video, like it. If you want to subscribe, please do so. See you guys in the next one. Wow, this whole arc was incredible. For people who haven't seen it, they're obviously gonna really enjoy it, because now they can watch it right all at once, like a couple of my friends that I know. Anyways, that's it. I'm out. Peace.